Hi everyone, welcome back to World Class Inventors. This is video number 4 in the series. And just to recap where we were last time, I gave you my spin on ideas, how they come, how you can recognize them, and I gave you some options on how to deal with them. And then I would say that the summation of the entire video was this: recognizing your idea, accepting it, and working on it, because the end goal of this entire process is to help cut down on the time clock that you're facing going on forward for the rest of your life. So in this video, we're going to follow a natural progression. And that is, we're going to take your idea and we're going to accept it. You're going to accept it in your head. And of course you are. But what you might not realize is the act of accepting it in your head makes its way down into your heart. And there, in your heart, are the issues of life. And because you're going to accept this idea, there's going to be some sort of a joy that's going to come over you. It has to do with the acceptance factor. It also has to do with the fact that you're embracing your idea. And now you're expectant. You have some hope for your future, hope for a better tomorrow. And it all builds upon itself. So, the next thing that happens to you as a person, because you've accepted this idea and now you have this joy percolating upwards, is you want to shout out about your idea from the rooftop. You want to share it with everybody you know. And you're doing it out of exuberance. You're also doing it because a little positive reinforcement never hurts. Getting other people's opinions never hurt. And that's what you're going to do. It's just a natural course. It's in our human nature for all of these patterns to follow themselves. Now, the voices out there are going to tell you that this is perfectly fine, that it's okay to talk about your idea and to broadcast it. And that's where I disagree vehemently. At this point, I don't want you telling anybody about your idea. Really, you should limit your communication about this idea to your husband, your wife, your mate, and possibly your best friend, and cut it off there. Now, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because it's just an idea at this point. It's very ephemeral. It's a wisp. There's no way to tie it to you. Now, you might argue the fact and say, well, you know what? I'm going to type this out on a piece of paper. I'm going to draw up this affidavit, so to speak, and I'm going to go and get it notarized. And that's going to prove that it's my idea. But you'd be wrong, because the United States, well over 15 years ago, 20 years ago, changed the laws from first to invent to first to file. Now we're following the European system of patents. Now I'm talking about ideas in general, but I'm using the law now. And I don't want to get too lawyerish and I don't want to get in front of myself. But the point is, if you want to protect yourself, you have to, at minimum, file for a provisional patent, a non-provisional patent, a trademark. We're going to skip over trade secrets because it's too early in the process. You haven't generated any. And if you do have trade secrets, keep them close to your vest because it's way, way early to be sharing them with anybody. And I haven't gotten to that point to even begin to instruct you on it. Another way to protect your idea, of course, recognized by the government, is copyrights. And then the last way to do this is through inventors' notebooks. But you have to be well on your way to establishing an inventor's notebook. And just like trade secrets, we're not even close to touching upon that. So now I just listed all the ways in which you can protect yourself. So here's what I want to say in summation. All of these protection mechanisms, to be tested, to be arbitrated, to state the fact that this idea originated with you, has to go through the fiery furnace of some sort of intellectual property contest that could very well end up in court. That's where these things are fought out. They're not fought out between you and another party. They're rarely ever settled that way. They end up making their way to federal court in most cases, because most of these laws are under the federal jurisdiction. So be conservative. Keep your ideas to yourself. We have a long ways to go. We have to vet this idea. I have to show you how to start building the castle around your ideas and explaining things to you. And we have to choose which is the best way to protect it. We have a long way to go. So why would you want to muddy the waters ahead of time? Now, the voices out there would be shouting up and down and say, oh, you have an idea? That's great. Call a patent attorney, call a patent agent, patent prosecution attorney. Why don't you call one of these invention help firms that dot the landscape of the internet? And I disagree wholeheartedly. Some of those things are dangerous. Most of those things are going to waste your time and your money. So this dovetails nicely with the next video that I'm going to be doing, because I'm going to be talking about whether you should call an attorney or whether you should contact a help invention services company. So I don't want to get into it now because the video would be way too long. So I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching, and God bless. Bye-bye.